Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I want to talk a little bit about lessons that I've learned since I've been living in the van. It's been a year since I've lived in this van full time, and this year has been probably one of the most challenging, interesting, exciting, and hard years of my life. This past year is completely different from the years before, and I've learned so much from this experience, and I cannot wait to see what's next and what else I'm gonna learn in years to come. But before that happens, I do want to share a few things that I've learned this past year, and hopefully this thing's gonna help you as well on your van life journey. So let's stop blubbering and get to it. Okay, so the first thing that I've learned while living in the van full time is it's hard to find alone time. So when you travel with another person in the same van, it's super tough because you're spending pretty much 24/7 together in a very small space, and finding alone time can be very hard. Jed and I, we found a system that works for us, but even with that system, it's still tough sometimes to be in such a small space together all the time. Even if you're traveling alone, it could be hard to find alone time, because as you travel in the van and you find spots to camp at and boondock at, you're gonna meet a lot of people who also live this lifestyle. And because those people live the same lifestyle, you already have one thing in common. You know, people want to come in and say hello and check out your van, so you're constantly talking to people, and so finding alone time can be challenging even if you're traveling by yourself and living in the van by yourself. A lot of people think that van life is lonely or can be lonely because you're just traveling by yourself, but it's actually the opposite. It is not lonely at all. Anywhere we've gone and camped at or stayed at, we've always found other people who are doing van life. We're always surrounded by other people. There's so many amazing people out there. You're always gonna be around people, but having alone time, like your me time, you time, is very important for not just your mental health, but for, you know, growing as a person and doing your hobbies and whatever it might be. Finding alone time was challenging at first, and it took us quite a long time to find that balance and find the system that works. Another thing that I've learned while living in the van for a full year is the build of the van is never truly done. You're always going to be changing things, you're always going to be adding things always going to be breaking, so you have to fix them. So the build is truly never done. Even if you build out your van and it looks perfect and you think it's 100% done, you're still going to be changing a few things, because once you actually live in the van, the layout you've built might not work for you, or you might, you know, find some things that don't work, or you might want to change a few things. And because you live in it full time and in such a small space and so many limited things are going to be breaking, and you constantly would have to fix them. So the build is truly never done. So if you're one of those people who are waiting to get on the road until your van is done, is built, don't wait. Just, you know, make sure you have your basics, make sure you have your essentials, and just hit the road. You can always add more while you're on the road. So for instance, like, we built our van and it's not done, and we left before the van was even done, but now we want to change a few things. I'm gonna be making new curtains for our windows. So we have this like reflective material on one side and then curtains on the other side, and I glued it together, and I put magnets in the fabric, and it works, but not very well. So in order for your reflectix, your window covers, to actually help with heat and cold, you need to have space between like the window and the reflectix, and the way I made these, there is no space, so they pretty much let heat and cold right through. So I have to replace that. I got the high top on the van, so now mounting solar is tougher. We used to have solar mats on the roof, now we don't anymore because the high top is very rounded, and the roof racks for the high tops that mount to the gutters are very expensive, and I don't want to drill holes in a very expensive roof. So I actually ordered some flexible solar panels to put on the roof, and we're gonna go with that and see how that works. So there's a bunch of tiny little things that you're gonna be changing and working on. That's another thing that I've learned, is the build is never done. Okay, so ever since I started living in the van full time, I've realized that I've been spending a lot more time relaxing and enjoying life. Van life can be complicated and it can be challenging, and it's definitely different from like a regular 9-to-5 lifestyle, but because it's simpler than a regular lifestyle in a lot of ways, and I think because of it I have a little bit more time on my hands to relax and truly enjoy smaller things. Van life really makes you look at things differently. I enjoy the sunrises and sunsets a lot more than I used to because I see them a lot more than I used to. I enjoy good weather a lot more now because good weather is important while you live in the van, because you're constantly in the elements. Tiny little things like that. So when you start to live in the van, you start to appreciate things a little bit more, and you start to really notice and learn what's important and what's not. Materialistic things are not that important, and you don't really need them in your life that much as you know you think you do. Having time to relax and truly enjoy life and truly appreciate smaller things is an amazing lesson that I've learned this year. Okay, so another thing that I've learned recently, probably just by the end of this year, is I need to take better care of myself. So when you live in the van, especially in a smaller van where you don't have a bathroom or a shower, it can be challenging taking care of yourself. I've learned that I really gotta start doing that. Ever since I moved into this van and Jed and I started traveling, I've kind of neglected some of my older routines, such as my hair routine or my skincare routine, because I either don't have space, time, or I'm just so busy doing other things. And by the end of the first year, I've noticed that my skin started getting a little bit out of control. So is my hair. My hair is not as full as it used to be when I first started doing van life, and it's because my hair just started to break off because I wasn't washing the hair as often as I used to before, and I haven't been taking care of it as I used to before. I stopped using some of the hair products that are good for my hair, so my hair just kind of started breaking off, and it hasn't really grown as much because it's been breaking off, so it's very uneven. My skin, I started to have more blemishes and just kind of all over the place. So I really gotta start taking better care of myself. So I restarted my skincare routine. I'm gonna start a hair routine as well, so my hair can get back to where it was before I started living in the van full time. So I just gotta get back to it. It's important to me. I've also started drinking a lot more water because I've realized that I haven't been drinking enough water since I started living in the van. And when you change climates and you constantly travel and you're constantly doing things, staying hydrated is very important. Taking care of your body is very important. Eating healthy is very important. Another thing that I've learned is that time and space management is very important when you live in a van. So the space management, you live in this tiny place. Even if you live in an RV, in a big RV, it's still a lot smaller than a house. Having good space management is important. So for me, I've learned to let go of things. I'm constantly getting rid of things, but I'm also constantly getting new things. It's kind of like a rotating door, you know? I'm getting rid of old stuff and bringing new stuff in, but I still have to manage my space very well. You know, I can't get too many new things, but I also can get rid of a lot of things because all the things that I have on the stand, or most of them, are the things I use on a daily basis. Those are my essentials and my important things. So I really kind of have to get creative with space management. And this last year, I think I've improved so much and I've learned so much. And ever since I've been back in Portland, I've gotten rid of a lot of things. Things that I didn't really need and wasn't using, so I have a little bit more space now, which I'm super excited about. That was a good lesson to learn, that's for sure. And with time management, it's kind of the same thing. When you live in the van full time and you travel full time and you still need to make money, let's say you're running an online business, or whatever it might be, you have to be very good at time management. Because you don't have a strict 9 to 5 schedule, you don't have a job you have to report to necessarily, or like a boss, you have to get creative with time management. You have to block out the time in your day where you can just solely work. But when you travel full time and you're always seeing amazing things and new things and you're exploring, it can be very hard. And that's the one thing that I've learned, is my time management wasn't as good as I thought it was, only because it's such a new environment for me. I always had a hard time blocking out time to just solely work, whether it's editing a video, responding to clients, or finding cash gigs, whatever it might be. The one thing I learned is that I gotta make myself a schedule, and I gotta stick to it, and I gotta think of it as, okay, from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. I am going to work, and I have to put it in my mind that I'm going to work and I have a boss I have to report to, and if I don't do that, I might be in trouble. I'm excited to see how much better I'm gonna get and where it's gonna take me. So that was definitely a good thing to learn and realize about myself as a person and about my life and my lifestyle. So another thing that I've learned in the past year, that there is a lot of amazing people out there. Don't get me wrong, I've traveled all my life and I've seen a lot of different places and different countries, and I met a lot of different people, but at the same time I've always lived in an apartment and I had a regular job, and like I would watch news. So in my mind I always thought that there's a lot of bad people out there, but in reality there are a lot of amazing people out there. I mean, we've met so many amazing people who let us stay in their driveways, who fed us, who showed us around, who taught us a lot of new things. This world is full of amazing, truly genuine people. And don't get me wrong, there are bad people out there, and when you start traveling full time, you are gonna encounter sometimes people who might want to hurt you or might want to take advantage of you. There's no escaping that. But it's not a regular occurrence. More likely than not, you're gonna meet some amazing people who are gonna help you, who you're gonna become friends with, who you're gonna learn from. Living in the van full time and traveling and seeing new places this way opened up my eyes to a whole different world that I didn't think existed, which is amazing. Even though for me, because I've traveled so many times and I've seen so many different places, but traveling like this and actually living in the vehicle you're traveling in is a whole different experience. And now we're so another thing that I've learned since living in the van is you have to be creative. So this past year has taught me to be that much more creative than I already was. I was never a super creative person to begin with. I have a little bit of creativity, but living in the van taught me to be more creative. You have to be creative if you wanna get cleaned and you don't have a shower in your van. You have to be creative when it comes to making money, unless you want to stay in one spot and just work a regular job. You have to be creative when it comes to finding places to sleep. Everything about your life will change, and you have to kind of adapt to it very quickly and become very creative. And that's one thing that I've learned this past year. And it's one of the things that I'm super grateful that I've learned, because I can apply that skill to other areas of my life in the future. So that's kind of important. You learn to adapt quickly to things, whether it's weather, places, people, circumstances, situations, whatever it might be. You will learn to adapt a lot easier and quicker, which is another thing that I've learned, and it was an amazing lesson to learn, and I'm glad I did it. Hey guys, this is gonna be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found these lessons that I've learned somewhat interesting, and maybe they're gonna help you or somebody you know. Who knows, right? So anyways, I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give me a like down there at the bottom. It helps me a lot and lets me know that you actually like this content. Drop me some comments down below. Let me know what lessons you've learned since you've been living in the van, if you have been living in the van. Or let me know if you found what I've talked about in this video helpful for your future van life adventure, or just say hello. I love reading all of your comments. You know that, I know that, everybody knows that. I love reading comments, so definitely drop them down below for me. And don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. Become a member of Evie and our family. Everybody's welcome. We love you. So yeah, click that subscribe button and don't forget to click that bell notification so you get notified when I upload new videos. Make sure to select all, otherwise you might not get some notifications. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching and I will see you on the next one.